Elephants are highly social, highly vocal species, and we know there's a lot going on with their communication, but we haven't been able to decipher much. It's quite complicated, the structure of their calls, and we know that if we could get insight into what they're saying, we could really get a new perception on how they think. Elephants do these really interesting behaviors where sometimes when they're in a big group, a female or a matriarch of a group will give a call and the entire group will respond. They'll group up around her, they'll follow her or whatever. And then other times she gives seemingly a very similar call, and nobody will respond, nobody will react to the call except for a single elephant in the group. So that sort of indicates that they have a means by which to communicate who they want to talk to. And so we undertook this study to look and try to determine if elephants have names and if they're using names to talk to each other. And we analyzed these calls using a special approach in machine learning. And we were able to get strong evidence that indeed the calls are vocally labeled for individuals, i.e. they have names. And then to confirm that, we played back calls that we had high confidence that had names and calls that we had high confidence that they weren't labeled. And we played those back to individuals. And we found responses to the calls that we had assumed had a good chance of vocal labeling. And the ones that were calls to individuals that weren't involved in the playback, the individual targeted by the playback did not respond. And I'm here among the elephants right now, and our study shows that indeed they do have names for each other. That takes some sort of creative process, creative thinking. I think our study really provides additional evidence of the way elephant brains work and the cognitive abilities of elephants. There's a lot going on intellectually with elephants. And one of the things that is obvious to us when you're in the field with them is that they're constantly conversing. There's quite a lot of vocal communication going on among elephants. And it seems like it's a pretty key component to their social relationships, their social networks. So going forward with elephants, it's complicated to share the world with the largest terrestrial mammal. They need a lot of space. You can see they're eating now. They just constantly feed. They need a lot of areas to roam to find the resources that they need. I think it's really critical for us to understand how we're going to share the planet with them. And so I hope this helps highlight that these other creatures have really complex lives and really nuanced relationships and are thinking about the world in very complex ways that we don't even recognize. And I hope that allows us to value these species more and to think about our impacts on them in a new way.